Hey guys, welcome back. I'm going to do a quick video today because I recently received some information, and it's information I want to pass on to you guys so this thing doesn't happen again to other people. And what I'm talking about is my Final Fantasy XIII limited edition box set that I bought. And basically what it is I got duped a little bit. This is a bootleg copy. And I kind of wanted to present information to you guys so you know what to look for, and so things like this, it doesn't happen to you. Like I said, this is a bootleg, and now that I think about it, and I'm not really upset about it, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But I wanted to show you guys some things on this to really, things to look out for, essentially. And one of the big things, and when I first got this out, you might be able to hear it on my video if you go back and watch it. My voice, I sound a little unsure about this. And one of the big things that really kind of tipped me off was the fact that nowhere in this thing does it say Square Enix anywhere. And for a company like Square Enix to let something like this come out and not put their name on it is just craziness, So when I first started looking at it, I didn't see like the Square Enix logo. I was like, well, that's kind of weird, but maybe it's just like a special thing that this company put out. But then I got a message from Tom 360 Degrees, and he was like, awesome soundtrack, what's the record label on that? And I looked on it, and I wrote him back, and I wrote Maya Records. And he wrote me back, and he said, oh, Maya Records is notorious for bootlegs. And I was like, no! So I went online and looked it up, and sure enough, Maya Records is a Taiwanese bootlegging company. And just to show you, I'm trying to find a nice big one here. I can't really find a nice big one. But anytime you see, I don't know if that picks up on the camera or not, but if you see that little black square, it says Maya Records in there. If you're finding a soundtrack or anything out there, be wary of it, because it is going to be a bootleg. They typically just bootleg anime soundtracks, video game soundtracks, and J-pop albums. So that's something to look out for. But that is the big thing on this that really stood out as, this might not be on the up and up. So no Square Enix on it, and the Maya Records things once Tom 360 told me about that. When you get into the actual product itself, the outer shell box is kind of a little flimsy, but I've seen flimsy stuff like this before, so that wasn't immediately an alarm bell. And it does have a nice recessed, sort of shiny quality to it. So, for a bootleg, it is kind of a high quality bootleg. Another thing I really noticed was with the printing on here. Specifically, when you, if I can get the case open, when you open it up and you look at the track listing on the inside of the tray, you can just kind of tell that the sharpness of the printing is not there. And with the art on the discs, which sometimes I've seen, kind of washed out art on CDs before, the artwork on there is also kind of washed out, as well as the outside printing on the cases. Not a big deal. It actually, it looks good, but you can just kind of tell there's just not the sharpness that you would normally expect from these types of things. Again, with the big artwork booklet, it has all the interviews and stuff in here, but nowhere in this booklet does it say Square Enix. So you kind of know that this is not on the level. But from an audio standpoint, I can't notice any real problems with the audio. It sounds like it has the proper depth to it, but the only thing I really have to compare it to is the video games themselves. And of course those are going to sound better because they're on DVDs or Blu-rays, so the audio is not as compressed as it would be on a CD. But in my car and in CD players here in the house, it does still sound pretty good. So I'm not too, I'm not upset. And a big reason why I'm not upset with this purchase is because this box set goes for like $100. The legitimate copies go for like around $100 on eBay, which I would not pay $100 for a CD soundtrack. There's people out there that would, and by all means, go do that. It's your money. You have the freedom to do that. But for me personally, I could use that $100. I mean, that's a lot of games I could add to the collection and really, you know, lower my games to buy list. So I only paid, after all said and done, all shipping and handling, anything, around $30 for this. So I can't be too upset because, you know, if I paid the full $100 that this thing is supposedly worth, and then found out that this was a bootleg, you better believe I'd be really upset. But for paying roughly a third of the cost, and you know, kind of getting a lesser product. You know, I paid less, so I should get a lesser product. It kind of sucks that it's a bootleg, but at least I didn't pay the full $100 for it, you know what I mean? And, you know, like I said, I would never pay the full $100 to begin with. So getting a sort of approximation of what that product was for a cheaper price, I can't really, you know, beat myself up too much, you know. I should have did the proper research beforehand, and it's just sort of an unfortunate thing. But I do kind of want to, you know, share this information with you guys, because I would hate for somebody to go to a like a gaming convention or something, and somebody's selling these with the Maya records on it for $100 a piece, and I'd hate for you guys to put that much money into it. But if you want, you know, if you're like me and you would never pay $100 for this, you know, see if you can find a cheap version of this, because it is still a nice set. I still like it, and I'm not, you know, I don't regret buying it. Let's just put it that way. I just, you know, I thought I got a huge deal on a legitimate copy, and you know, that kind of stings a little bit that it's not a real thing. You know, kind of like you see on those pawn shops, you know, shows. But at the same time, I'm never going to resell this, so it's not going to I'm going to be like, you know, Snidely Whiplash, like, buy it, you know. I'm not going to be doing that kind of stuff. But I definitely wanted to show that to you guys to make sure you guys know what to look out for. But like I said, you know, even buying a bootleg, I'm still okay with it, and the audio sounds fine as far as I can tell. I don't know what the real discs sound like, but I can't. It doesn't sound. It sounds like it has the proper depth, you know. It doesn't sound like it's thin or tinny, you know what I mean? So, whatever. Just wanted to share that with you guys. You know, no, I don't need any condolence letters or anything. You know, it's fine. I'm okay with it. But I just wanted to share with you guys so you know what to look out for. Maya Records. Just if you find one of their soundtracks for cheap, go ahead and buy it. I've bought bootlegs of other things before. You know, it's kind of a weird market, and sometimes it can be kind of a fun market to get into. But if you see Maya on the soundtrack albums, and they're charging an exorbitant amount of money for it, just know that that is a fake, and don't waste your time on it. It's kind of harder to do, you know, online, because, you know, you gotta watch for them to post pictures, and you gotta hope that the pictures are legit and things like that. And, you know, holding it in your hand, you can just kind of feel, it does feel a little flimsy, flimsier than I think it would be. But like I said, yeah, I'm okay with it. But I wanted to share that with you guys. So yeah, I'm gonna go see the Black Keys here in a couple hours. So Nier, I will be working on it tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have a game discussion up tomorrow night. If not, no later than Wednesday. I'm at the end of the game. I just gotta complete the flower. I'm one quest away from getting 100% on that, so I need to finish that flower quest and beat the final boss, and then we'll talk about Nier. So, all right, guys, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.